تأكد أنه يشتغل. No, he's walked out here. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Alright, so we stopped. Okay. Chapter 51, Bab Adab al-Walidi wa birrihi li-waladihi. Alright, so this is the chapter on the manners of the father and his righteousness to his son. And then there's some of the people, they might ask, okay, then why did Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, why did he say, how is the father being righteous to the son? Like how does that work? Because as we know, obviously that obedience is from the son to the father. So now how do we flip it now and make it from the son now, from the father to the son? And of course this birr, this righteousness that's mentioned here, is the righteousness of the father teaching the son everything that he needs to know, teaching him, raising him up with the proper manners, raising him up with good character, teaching him what he has to do as a Muslim, teaching him how to pray, teaching him how to fast, and teaching him how to do all the actions that he's going to have to do as a Muslim, but also how to deal with other people. So, because this is very, very, very important, no doubt. So this is the righteousness that the father can show to the son, is by raising him. And just, just like Imam al-Albani, rahimahullah, when he spoke about this topic of tasfiyah wa tarbiyah, that he keeps all the type of corrupted things away from his child. And he tries to give his child the best of the, and to teach him the deen and teaching him what he needs to know as a Muslim, and to, the things that are going to benefit him in this life and the next. So Allah musta'an. So the hadith is number 92. حدثنا محمد بن عبد العزيز قال حدثنا الوليد بن مسلم, and الوليد بن مسلم هو مدلس وقال عن أنا here because he narrated the next hadith عن وليد. Alright, so that's one illah, and this is one problem with the hadith. So after that he said عن الوليد ibn Numayr ibn Aus, and شكرا. Alright, so Numayr ibn Aus, Al-Walid ibn Numayr ibn Aus is majhul al-hal. So even him, his hadith is not accepted. Alright, is not accepted. Alright, so again, now there's two issues with this narration. Alright, and Husamiya Abahu, and his father is Numayr ibn Aus. And as far as his father, there's ikhtilaf about him having any type of suhbah. But he doesn't narrate this from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he says, كانوا يقولون الصلاة من الله والأدب من الآباء. So they used to say that as-salah, that the correctness and righteousness and the correctness and uprightness of the person is from Allah. That this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He puts in the chest of the servant, and He corrects and rectifies this person through the rectification of that person's heart. As we know from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he said, إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ. So here the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there's an organ in the body that if it is upright and if it's correct and it's free from all types of corruption, then the rest of the body will also be upright and in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if it's corrupt, then the whole body begins to become corrupt. So the actions become corrupt, the statements become corrupt, and everything because of this corruption of this one organ. And he said that verily this organ is the heart. So the heart, the fixing of the heart and the guiding of the heart is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's nothing that a person can do to change the state of a person's heart. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can change the state of the person's heart. And that's why we always say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, because When we say la hawla, it means like, like la tahawul, like we can't go from one state to another state. We have no ability to do this. Al-hawl here is the tahawul, min hal ila al-hal. So if we say, from one state, from moving from one state to the next. So if we're in a state of corruption, then we're saying la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that we're saying that we have no ability to change our state of to change our state of corruption, and to move from the state of corruption to the state of uprightness, of correctness, of righteousness. We don't have that ability. Only Allah has that ability. وَلَا قُوَّةَ لَنَا. That we have no quwwah. We have no strength to stand up and do the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us to do. Except بِمَعُونَةِ except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one that gives us this assistance. So when we say this, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that we know that it's only with Allah's assistance and His help and His mercy and His tawfiq that we can do the things, that we can go from the state of corruption, of sin, of disobedience, to the state of being upright, a state of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the state of correctness, the state of following the sunnah and being upright. There's only through Allah's mercy and it's through His assistance can we do this. And we also know that we have no strength now, again, to do those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us to do, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us that strength and assists us with it, and assists us in doing those things that He has commanded us to do. So all of this is from Allah. And even though this hadith is da'if, there's no doubt that there's truth in the meaning, that this salah, it can only be from Allah, because the salah, it starts in the heart. And the only one that can change the state of the heart and purify our hearts and change our hearts from corruption to obedience is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then after that, He said, "Wal adabu min al-aba." And He said, manners are from the fathers. The manners are taught from the fathers. So that means that what? That it's the father's job to make sure that the son is doing, acting right, caring, because manners are how you deal with other people and how you act in front of other people. These are your manners. Your character is your implementation of what's, staying away from what's haram and doing the things that are obligatory upon you. This is what strengthens your character. But your manners are how you act in front of people and how you deal with people. So this has to go back to the best of all. The teacher is going to be the father. The father is the one who can teach. He's the one that teaches the son the manners, and he's the one that teaches the son how to act right in front of people. That you see that the mothers, they don't do this, and that's not saying that the mother cannot do this, but this is not something that a man is going to rely on a woman for. It's to teach the son appropriate manners. Because manners for a woman and manners for a man are two different things. So when we're talking about the father to the son, the father has to teach the man how to be a man. And the woman, she's going to teach her daughter how to be a lady and how to be appropriate and how to be modest and to do the things that a woman has to do. She's going to raise her daughter up to be a woman. She's the one that can do that. But the man is the one who's going to have to teach his son how to carry himself in front of the people and how to do the things and how to be a proper person in society. That's the father. So if you take the father out of the picture, wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. It looks like you're going to be reading the questions today. Is it working? No. The live stream. Oh, you didn't get it because I'm trying to. I'm trying to check it, but it's not popping up with me, so I don't know. Huh? No, here it goes. Here it goes. It's working now. All right, so it is working. All right, so let me move this out of the way because this is a big bottle. I just noticed that now in the camera. But all right, so going back to this, so if you take the father out of the picture, and now you have the son being raised, by what? Being taught manners from the mother. The mother can't teach the son the manners that a man needs to act right in front of other men and to carry himself in society. So then he's going to end up confused. And that's why if you look at any man, and you ask a man, what is some advice, some good advice that your father gave you? Or if he's ever thinking of like doing something, he'll always say, oh, you know, my father told me this, or my father told me this, right? But you very rarely hear, if you ever hear a man say, oh yeah, the best advice I ever got was from my mother. And it's not saying that mothers don't give good advice, but it's just saying that the mother's role is different than the role of the father. The role of the father towards the boy and the role of the mother towards the girl, these are two different roles. So the woman is gonna, you know, she's gonna teach her daughter, you know, like the appropriateness of a lady and how to be a lady and how to be right, not to go out to the streets and act like a, you know, like a prostitute, you know, and take on the behavior of these filthy women in the streets. That's the woman, you know, and the father is the protector of that daughter to make sure that none of that filth starts to get around that daughter. But the man, and we're talking about the manners, you know, so if you look at, like, for example, everything that I learned from my mother, I can't think of anything that my mother told me was just like the best advice. But I can tell you one thing, that any girl that I ever brought in front of my mother and she said, get rid of her, she was right. Like the intuition and the understanding of a woman, you know, that intuition is strong. But when we're talking about manners, we're talking about wisdom, we're talking about raising up men to lead in the society, then no. Because a woman, she's going to raise up a follower. Because that's just the nature of a woman. The nature of a woman is, that's what she's going to raise. She's going to raise up a follower. And then when these boys, they do grow up and start to become men, and they try to act like leaders, they end up corrupting society. So, and again, this all of this salah, this uprightness, this correctness in society, it all comes from the Quran and the Sunnah, and that's from Allah. So it's for the man. The man has to teach his son manners. If that man, if you take that man out, then what you have is a bunch of kids running around in complete chaos. You have little young kids running around using filthy language, cursing, and acting a fool, breaking things, and disrespecting older people, and not, and this is what you see now. This is what you see in the society. Because now we have allowed our children to be raised up in this corruption of the society. Instead of taking the role that we're supposed to take as parents and raising our own children, we allow society to take on that role and do that for us. So we send our kids to school, to these public schools. Wallahi, if you knew the life of the teachers that are teaching your children, now you probably do know their lives, because a lot of these teachers now are posting their lives on Instagram and TikTok and all these other stupid apps. So now you probably do know the life of the teacher. And it's filth. It's teachers going and getting drunk and doing all types of drugs in their free time. And then this is the teacher that's teaching your child. And you don't know what this teacher watches. You don't, sit there and see the Google, the history of this teacher. What type of filth they look at. But look at the corruption now in society. We see the results, and we don't have to sit here and go through every single detail of society, but we can look at the results, and the results are horrible. Horrible. You're taking the man out the house, the man who's going to raise that child, that boy, and give him the appropriate manners, teach him how to respect his elders, teach him how to deal with people, teach him how to be patient, teach him wisdom, and you've taken that man out of the house, and now just giving that role to the mother. We see the corruption in the society. We see the chaos in the society. Or if they haven't given the role to the mother, they've given that role to the public schools. And say, y'all go and let the public schools raise you with all the corruption that's going on. So this salah, this uprightness is from Allah. But the manners have to be taught. The manners, this is a part of tarbiyah. And just like Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, he used to always talk about a-tasfiyah qabla tarbiyah. That the first you have to do the tasfiyah. You can't teach your son proper manners when he's listening to music and watching movies of the kuffar. You can't teach him deen and get him to follow the deen when he's being influenced by all this corruptive stuff. This corruptive, and he has this corruptive influence day in and day out in public school with his friends of the kuffar. Then he comes home, he's listening to music and watching movies, and now you want to sit down with him for an hour a day to try to teach him Islam. It doesn't work like that. First, it has to be that tasfiyah. You have to purify. You have to get all that stuff away from them. You have to get them away from all the corruption first. And then once you get them away from the corruption, then you start the tarbiyah. But like right now, the parents are allowing their kids all the corruption in the world. The kids are listening to music. The kids are watching movies. The kids are hanging around with these kuffar and acting like them. And how are you going to raise that kid up on Islam? How do you expect that kid now to accept, pureness? And that kid's heart is corrupt. His whole life is corrupt. So this goes back to the parents. It goes back to the parents and what you allow your kids to do and what you allow your kids to have. You have to take responsibility. That's your house. That kid doesn't run the house. And if the wife is the one that's allowing the kid to do this and do that, she doesn't run the house, and you need to check yourself too. Who's really running that household? Because the man, the person who understands the Quran and the Sunnah is the one who's supposed to be running that household. If the woman has to run the household, then you're useless as a man. What is your job? What is your role? If she's the one running everything and you're just sitting around chilling all day long, I work 8 hours a day. Does working 8 hours a day, is that raising your children? No. You still got a role to play in that household. You can't just throw that on everybody else. So if you're not doing that, then that's you. You have to take responsibility, accountability, and then, then you say, my wife no, you let your wife let them do whatever they want to do. You do that. That's you. You're the man of the house. You're the one who's supposed to take control. If you're not doing that, then what's the benefit of you even being in the house in the first place? Just what? To pay the bills? Along this time, I think. Subhanallah. That's why you see women now, they don't feel like they have to have that man anymore, because why? Uncle Sam will pay the bills now. They just go get now it's like welfare and all this type of stuff. They don't even need that man in the house anymore because he's not doing anything. So you gotta, it doesn't matter how much you work or how much you do, you still have a role. And your role is to raise those children. These children are running around, breaking things and disrespecting the elders. Akhi, that is a reflection of you, the people raising them. Could you imagine your kids go out acting like Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, akhi, and then breaking everything, disrespecting everybody, and what is that a reflection of? It's not a reflection of the community. That's a reflection of the parents, of the parenting, of the education, of the tarbiyah, of how these kids were raised. We have to understand that our kids are a reflection of us. And how our kids act, it's going to come back on us. This is how the people are going to view us based on how our kids are acting. So we have to take this very, very seriously. And that's what like I said, even though the hadith is da'if, but the meaning is true. The salah, the fixing of the heart is only from Allah. There's nothing that we can do to change the heart of the person. But we do it, but it is still our responsibility to teach. If the child rejects it, the child doesn't want it, the child, whatever, we can't change the state of the heart of the person. But we can teach the person and make sure that he gets everything that he needs. All right, the next hadith, number 93. حدثنا محمد بن السلام قال أخبرنا عبد الأعلى ابن عبد الأعلى القرشي عن داوود بن أبي هند عن عامر أن النعمان بن بشير رضي الله عنهما حدثه أن أباه انطلق به إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يحمله فقال يا رسول الله إني أشهدك أني قد نحلت النعمان كذا وكذا فقال كل ولدك نحلت قال لا قال فأشهد غيري ثم قال أليس يسرك أن يكونوا في بر سواء قال بلى قال فلا إذن قال أبو عبد الله البخاري ليس شهادة من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رخصة. So here, this hadith is narrated on the authority of Nu'man ibn Bashir. This hadith is muttafaqun alayh. And Rijal, the narrators of the chain of narration are the narrators of Bukhari and Muslim. So this is a Nu'man ibn Bashir radiyallahu anhuma. He said that his father went with him to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was carrying him because he's young at the time. يحمله. And so he said to him, "O Messenger of Allah, inni ushiduk." He said, I call you to as a witness that I have given my son Nu'man a gift like this. He mentioned what he gave him. He said, I've given him this and this and this as a gift for him. And then he said, فقال. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, have you done this for all of your sons? Have you given them the same? He said, La. He said, then you go and you go call somebody else to a witness, not me. He said, then he said, Alaysa yasuruk. Would it not make you happy that they're all treat you, they're all the same to you in righteousness? If they all, that they're, you want them all to be the same in righteousness to you, then treat them all the same and be fair with them. Don't single out one to give, so this one, he's going to be righteous to you, but the other ones are going to hate you. Because they're going to say, oh, dad just loves him. He doesn't care about me. But if you want them all to be righteous, then you have to be what? You have to be fair to them, and give them all equally. So he said, Bella, he said, of course I want them to, all be righteous, good with me. So he said, Fala'i then. He said, then don't do this. Don't do this. And Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, he said, Laysa shahada. When the Prophet ﷺ said, go get somebody else as a witness, is not giving him a rukhsa. It's not giving him permission. He's saying that I'm not going to be a witness. This is haram. So he was saying this, but this is a form of inkar, to say what you're doing is wrong. So he's not telling him go get another witness, meaning that he's giving him permission. No, it's not. There's no permission. He told him what he did was wrong, and he understood that. And as you see, he didn't go get another witness. So even with our treatment of our children, you're going to have one son that your heart is it's more inclined towards. One son that you just have a better relationship with. But that doesn't matter. You still have to treat them all equally. Because each one of your children is going to have something that the other one doesn't have, and he's going to benefit you in a way that the other, and maybe one of the sons now, he might not benefit you now, but you treat him with justice. You treat him with a fair treatment, and you're good to him. And then later on, when he matures, and then he might be the one that benefits you the most later on, even though he might have been the most disrespectful one in a younger age. But he matures and gets it together later on, and then he becomes the one that you benefit the most, from. And the one that was the nicest, he's the loser. He grows up because he relies on dad. Hey, dad, give me this, dad, give me that. And he's the one that's not doing anything with his life, but the other one is. So you just be fair to them. Be fair to them, because you wouldn't. The same thing, how we look at our children and what we do for our children. Just imagine when you were a child. Could you imagine, your father just giving your brother or giving your sister? It's always the girl. They always just give the girl. Could you imagine that and just leaving you out? How would you feel? You would feel oppressed. You would feel like, some sense of injustice. So if you're going to feel like that, then why would you do that to your own child? So Allah musta'an. So that's not permissible. So, all right. I got the questions. I guess it popped up now. Huh?
Pop up, and I've seen a couple of them, but I don't know how to go back to them.
We already talked about the Islamic definition of the bathroom. We already spoke about that in depth. Go back maybe two lessons maybe. As far as asking for a big house in the Bugatti, well, ya akhi, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma atina fi dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Khalas. Ask Allah for the good of this dunya and the good of the akhirah, and to protect you from the hellfire. What do you need a Bugatti for? Toyota Corolla, get you where you gotta go. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Muhammad Fatima. Your absence today, Allah musta'an. But I understand because of the key. There's the issue with the key to the bathroom. It's hung up in the closet. We didn't know it, so we couldn't open the women's bathrooms. Allah musta'an. But we got the key now, so inshallah, we know how to open it. He said, reaching the age of tamyiz, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh for everybody. So I'm just saying that now. Reaching the age of tamyiz, what does reaching the age of tamyiz mean, discernment? And can you please explain more? And how can a woman know if a boy has reached that age? Because the boy starts to recognize the women. Starts to recognize features and things like that. So if that's the case, when a boy now becomes a danger being around women, because he can go back and describe what he sees to the men, and it doesn't matter. That boy could be 6 years old, he could be 8 years old, he could be 10 years old, it could be 11, he could be 12, or so it doesn't. The age is not specific. But once he's able to discern and he can look and see those women and know, like, okay, she's got this and she's got that, then it's time for him to go. He's not allowed to be amongst the men's wives now, because he can go back and he can, describe those women to other men, and that's not permissible. I mean, nobody wants that for their wife, obviously. Sleep paralysis caused by jinn, of course it's caused by jinn. Of course, the kuffar will never tell you that. If a child runs away, what do the parents do when the child returns? Oh, that's a good one, right? I think this is a Western problem more than anything else. You're just gonna have to use your own judgment on that.
You gotta get with parents in your area.
Huh?
You gotta get with other parents in your area and find out what's working.
Yeah, because it depends on, for me, I would look at the situation. Like if my son, a'udhu billahi min hada, may Allah protect all of our children. But if my son were to come up and disrespect me and then run away, come back talking about I'm apologizing, now you go. Get going, bye. You made your decision. Now go be a man, So it depends on the situation, if he, because Allah musta'an. If it's a daughter, it's going to be different than if it's a boy, So, the thing about it is that the mother would always accept. Take him back. But the father's a little bit different. The father's going to look at the situation and be like,
take him back with
no, unconditionally. Yeah. So no. If you want your dua for the dunya, you make dua for the dunya all you want. But you'll regret the time that, imagine Allah answering all your du'as for the dunya and then come on the akhirah and your dua, you didn't get nothing because you weren't asking for it. So it said, Ustad, I noticed that you once attempted to live stream on your Telegram channel. Do you have plans to live stream your lessons on your channel again? Nah, we'll just do it here. We're going to try to start doing the live stream for the classes of Bukhari maybe in the morning on the Masjid al-Aqaba channel, because we were just trying to get it up to 50 subscribers so we could go live, and now we're at 50. We were at 52, but then we went back down to 50. I say things on social media that people are like, oh my God, I don't like it, I'm unsubscribing. So it was 52, but now it's 50. So still enough to live stream, but I'm still not sure, because if we start live streaming, I want it to be regular. Because like here, you see like Mujahid, he got messed up, he got sick for days, and he wasn't here. Now he's back, and then this live stream suffers because of that.
Yeah.
Is it allowed to swear an oath over the Quran? That is not done. I don't know of anybody that has ever done that. Man kana halifan falyahlif billahi al yasmut. Whoever's swearing, then let him swear by Allah or stay quiet. It doesn't mention anything about this. This type of action was from the kuffar, put their hands on the Bible and type of. This is not from. If anybody has a narration that they can show me, then show it to me. The difference between Ummi and Ummah and Abi, Abiti, this is a question of Nahu. All of these forms are correct. They have different lughat in regards to that. What if she has gone for 2 days and a Muslim sister picked her up and took her out of town for 2 days while family looked for them? That's a belt right there. For the mother, see, back in the old days, that's what the extension cords were for the mothers,
There is no good outcome of your daughter being gone with anyone outside of your permission without your knowledge, period.
Yeah,
there is no good outcome.
If she wants to leave without your permission, she doesn't come back without your permission. And that's the way it goes. She left without your permission, but she's not going to come back into the house except for with your permission.
And the person that's baiting them and taking them out has to be eliminated from the full circle.
Jed has 25 subscribers with no videos. That's because of y'all subscribing to this channel. You might have to use it on the phone, because whenever you do that,
Oh,
yeah, because I noticed that over here. And also, yeah. No, I got it though. I mean,
okay. Khalas. Because this is on Facebook, so it's not picking up. It don't pick up those questions. Let me see if we got questions over here.
he said, is it permissible to use certain things in the masjid for personal use, like using the fridge, microwave, shower, whatever? Because whatever you have permission to do, whatever you have permission for. The people give permission for that because the masjid itself, the musalla, we're talking about the area for prayer, is for everybody. But things that the masjid puts, like in the kitchen and all these types of things, and, that's up to them, because they have to protect those things because people come in and they just destroy everything. So get their permission and use what you can with their permission. All right, so we're going to do a Bulugh Maram, inshallah. So not many, I don't see too many. All right, we'll do Bulugh Maram and we'll come back and see if there's
Oh, you guys subscribe to the channel.
Masjid al-Aqaba, yeah.
Masjid Aqaba.
Masjid ul Aqaba, yeah. So you subscribe to that, inshallah. And inshallah, khalas. We'll start we'll be live streaming some of the classes in the future from that channel, inshallah. All right, قال الحافظ ابن حجر رحمه الله تعالى في بلوغ مرام. All right, where did we see? All right, Hadith 1019. Ooh, we're going to tread lightly tonight. Not tread lightly because, if something's wrong, something's wrong. We're going to say it. Tread lightly just because of explaining the hadith. And, so, you got to do what you got to do, man. It's, subhanAllah, we all, can't hide knowledge. وعن جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله عنهما قال كانت اليهود تقول إذا أتى رجل امرأته من دبرها في قبلها كان الولد أحول فنزلت نساؤكم حرث لكم فأتوا حرثكم أن شئتم. الآية متفق عليه ولفظ لمسلم. So Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhuma, he reported that the Jews, they used to say, if a man goes to his woman from behind, but in the proper place of, the harth, which is the in the appropriate place, not going from behind, that place, but doing it from behind. Where the burgers at? Well, that's not an answer along the line.
I'm ready for a guacamole bacon myself.
Yeah, because he was running the restaurant by himself tonight. That's why he was. That's what.
I myself didn't even eat. Right now,
What do we do with the youth today, man?
He got the keys. We can open up after.
Oh, that's right. We can just go cook. I'm pretty sure his father would love that. He'd call him, be watching the cameras from him, and boy,
See all us in the kitchen.
plotting his death.
Onion rings.
All right. So basically, what the Jews used to say is, if the man he performs relations with his wife from behind.
They only can be face to face. Let's make it easy.
Yeah, so he's saying that if she gets pregnant in that state, then the child will be born ahwal, which is like cross-eyed. So this is what they used to say, that he's going to be born cross-eyed if she conceives in that position. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the ayah, nisa'ukum harathun lakum. So he said, nisa'ukum, your women, your females, your women are the harf, which is the place of zira'a, the place that you prepared to grow plants and whatever it is. And obviously that's referring to the womb, which is referring to the proper, appropriate place of going and, that, yeah. Harathun lakum fa'atu harathakum. So go to your harf, go to that specific place however you wish. You want to go from the front, from the back, from the side, whatever. But as long as you're going through the harf, to the place that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded you. So you can do it any way. This is full. Basically, it's a refutation of the Jews that no. However, as long as you're going to that place and she gets pregnant, khalas. And she could be cross-eyed. The child can come out cross-eyed or retarded or whatever the case may be. If you sat in a regular position, it doesn't. That's not what dictates how the child comes out. That's something that Allah wrote for him, and it doesn't matter. So He said, go and do it however you want. Just make sure that it's in a halal manner and in an appropriate place, and Allah knows best. All right, now we don't have to tread lightly anymore. Next hadith, 1020. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لو أن أحدكم إذا أراد أن يأتي أهله قال بسم الله اللهم جنبنا الشيطان وجنب الشيطان ما رزقتنا فإنه أن يقدر بينهما ولد في ذلك لم يضره الشيطان أبدا متفق عليه. So this hadith reported on the authority of Ibn Abbas رضي الله عنهما, in which he said the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, if anybody from amongst you, he goes to his wife to have relations with her, and he says this dua before he begins the relations, before he begins the action. He said, Bismillah, in the name of Allah, Allahumma jannibna shaitan. Oh Allah, keep shaitan away from us. وَجَنِّبْ الشَّيْطَانَ مَا رَزَقْتَنَا, and keep shaitan away from what you have provided for us, meaning the child. فَإِنَّهُ إِنْ يُقَدَّرْ, and so he said, and if during this relation, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written that they would have a son or a child between them, لَمْ يَضُرَّهُ شَيْطَانُ أَبَدًا, that shaitan will never ever cause any harm to this child ever. مُتَّفَقٌ عَلَيْهِ. So this is also a very important, extremely important dua to make, and not to be in such a rush, because obviously even married folks, people say, oh, once you get married, it's not the same. Nah, even married folks, there are just days that you just like in heat, basically, and you just run on and you forget, but you have to think, you're thinking you're causing harm to your child if the child is conceived. So that's not a joke. So you have to think and just, be patient, make sure you say the dua and do whatever you want, as long as what you're doing is halal, khalas. But think about the child that you're having, protecting that child, instead of just just thinking what you're, fulfilling all my desires and just trying to get rid of those desires real fast. And the last hadith, inshallah, that we'll take from Bulugh Maram, I'm going to save 1022 for tomorrow, inshallah. Because 1022 is going to be one that the ladies are not going to like. It has to do with all this fake garbage that they keep putting on their bodies. But we'll save that for tomorrow, inshallah. So, hadith 1021 عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا دعا الرجل امرأته إلى فراشه فأبت أن تجيء فبات غضبان لعنتها الملائكة حتى تصبح متفق عليه ولفظ للبخاري وللمسلم كان الذي في السماء ساخطا عليها حتى يرضى عنها. So here Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if a man calls his wife to the bed, because obviously, it's time. All right, فَأَبَتْ, and she refuses, and taji, she refuses to go to him. فَبَاتَ غَضْبَانٍ, and he spends the night angry with her. لَعَنَتْهَا الْمَلَائِكَةُ حَتَّى تُصْبِحْ, that the angels will be cursing her until the morning comes. And this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. And this is the wording in Bukhari, and the wording in Muslim, he said, كَانَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ, he said, the one who is in the, and now, this is a refutation of who?
Ash'aris?
Now, everybody that believes that Allah is everywhere. All right, so here he says, كَانَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ. So this is the fi here. What is the meaning of fi?
Over.
Yeah, it means ala.
Like Fir'aun, he said, obviously in the Quran, fi judu' an-nakhl.
Yeah.
Like on top of the palm trees.
Yeah, just like we say, like, siru fil ard. Siru fil ard, dakhil al-ard. You siru ish, ala al-ard. So you go and you travel on the land, not in the land. So fi here, it means ala. So كان الذي في السماء على سماء ساخطا عليها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be angry with her. حتى يرضى عنها, until her husband is pleased with her. So he will remain angry. And this is the truth. Because the man, you got to understand for the ladies, but this, I'm going to make the men happy, and then I'm going to make the men sad. Because this is a double-edged sword right here. So, all right, make the men happy. The men have to go out and work, and the men are, especially in this society, you go to the supermarket, and then, if I was married, I'm married now, but I'm just saying my wife's not here. But I mean, if she was here, I'd be coming home every day throwing come on, because this is the type of stuff that you have to go through every single day. So, for the woman to refuse now, and he's taking you as his lawful wife, and whether or not he has one or two or whatever, but it's your day. This is his day to be with you. He needs that. And if he's, and for you to refuse that, that's a huge thing. Now, let's flip the script. What about the woman who doesn't refuse and she's willing, and in fact, she feels like the man is not giving her rights, and this happens, right? So he's going there, and maybe he has a wife, but he decides that PlayStation is more important than his wife, or watching Netflix is more important than his wife, or going out to eat with his friends is more important than his wife. But she's sitting in the house patient, and she wants, she's more than willing when he comes home to fulfill his every desire, but he refuses to give her rights. So we have to look at this from two sides. We can't just look at this, look at this, I called you to the bed and you didn't come. Okay, but also we have to make sure that we're also fulfilling the rights of the woman also, because she has rights. She needs, because women, they're not like us. Like us, we just want to just get our desires out quick, go to sleep, or go eat, and that's it. But women, they want, other things. They want to be loved and cared for. There's more that goes into it than just an action. So you see, and I'll tell you, Akhi, one of the biggest things that has destroyed this in the men nowadays, and you know what it is. Watching that stuff, Akhi. Watching those, getting up on the internet and watching stuff that you should not be watching, because that's not going to teach you. That's going to teach you how to treat a woman like what? A slab of meat that you just use for whatever it is that you desire, toss it to the side, and and go back to doing whatever you want to do, and you don't even recognize her existence. And this is what happens nowadays, because these men, they're not men. They're not men. So you got to understand that she has rights too. You have to make sure that you take care of her rights, and she has to take care of yours. I mean, this is like, everything has to be working together. The woman can't be sitting there saying, well, what about my rights? But she's not fulfilling his rights. And the man sitting over here saying, well, what about my rights? But in the same time, he's not fulfilling her rights. No, you make sure that you take care of her, and she takes care of you. And I'll tell you one thing, dude. And we know this from experience. If you treat a woman right, and you give her what she wants, in the place that she wants it, and how she wants it, that girl will do everything for you. That girl will do everything for you. She will scrub your feet. She will, whatever it is that you want. But if you don't give her rights, boy, she'll turn into a devil on you. And and she'll start to hate you. And then it's going to be nothing but just complete chaos in your household. But if you do right with that woman, watch the results. Watch the results. But that's the thing. Most people, they don't like to take time. She'll be patient. She'll be patient. No, she won't. She won't be patient. Every woman will be patient for her. Like, women do have more patience than men in this area, but not for long. I don't know, man. We don't need you today, especially since you're there.
Read the second to last comment.
Go back to San Diego, Hamza.
No, that's also.
You didn't go to San Diego, did you?
No, that's too hard. I was speaking, I won't be able, what I did today is probably going to happen for the next 3 days.
Did the brother get back safely or no?
No, alhamdulillah, yeah.
No, but you didn't say anything. I
Oh,
go,
yeah.
see, this is the youth of the day, right? This is how useless they are sometimes. I asked him, I said, have you heard anything from him? Did he get back safely? Did he get back to San Diego safely? He said, I haven't heard anything, but he'll let me know. And then he never told me. Now he said, oh yeah, of course he got back, but he didn't tell nobody. Come on, man, 'cause he's here. We want to make sure that he got back home safely.
Oh, yeah.
That's your old mama, man. You're supposed to be calling that Fajr time, man. Check it.
I love this one. Did Sheikh Mubil rahimahullah make a refutation or rad of Abi Hanifa? Ya akhi, Sheikh Mubil, he quoted from Ibn Abi Shayba, from the Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba. And Ibn Abi Shayba in his Musannaf, I'm not mistaken, check it. Check it, the Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba, check it like the Mukhalafat of Abi Hanifa. So, Ibn Abi Shayba, he listed the different fatwa of Abi Hanifa. And he listed every single fatwa that Abu Hanifa gave that goes in complete contradiction to the Sunnah. So that was from Ibn Abi Shayba. So now, because they can't go and blame, you want to blame somebody, blame where he, he refuted Abu Hanifa. He quotes from the Salaf. He's not making this stuff up. You think that Sheikh Mubil just sits around and just writes things from what? He's bringing this from the books of the Salaf. So this is and it's about 50, I don't know how many pages in the Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba. He gave a whole list of all, and he brought the Adillah to show, and he refuted those things that, he wasn't refuting Abi Hanifa, he was refuting those fatwa of Abi Hanifa to show that these instances are the instances that he gave a fatwa in complete contradiction to the Sunnah. That's it. But people, man, subhanAllah, people, because their prophet is like, it's almost like their prophet is what? Abu Hanifa. Ya akhi, our prophet is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if he's giving fatwa that are in contradiction to the Sunnah, we don't follow that. We don't follow that. That doesn't mean that we hate him or we disrespect him no, he's an Imam. Abu Hanifa is Imam. We say Imam, Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah. He's an Imam, but he's not ma'asum. And just because if he makes mistakes, I think we gotta let the people know. Look, these are mistakes. This is not from the Sunnah. But people they get so sensitive about this.
Same as today. Same as today.
Yeah.
Imams around us that are way off in another orbit, and we have to bring them back into this orbit.
Because the people, they think, I don't know why. MashaAllah, they think, no, I follow him and I can't. This is about him. This isn't about Abu Hanifa. Because you saying that Abu Hanifa made a mistake. Yeah, so did Imam Malik. What, Imam Malik never made a mistake? Did Imam Ahmed make a mistake? But their mistakes were very, very few. Alright, so if Abu Hanifa made a lot of different mistakes and Ibn Abi Shayba compiled those mistakes, what's the problem? He's telling the people that this is wrong. And he's bringing a adillah from the Quran and the Sunnah. Is this a refutation of Abi? Is he trying to diss Abu Hanifa? No, he's trying to show the people that this is wrong and this is against the Sunnah. And this is what Sheikh Mubil compiled in his book. And he compiled all the statements of the Salaf. He didn't just sit back and just make this stuff up. Just to let me see how angry I can make people in the eastern part of this world. Like let's just go ahead and make everybody in the East angry. No, that wasn't the purpose. All right. But the people do this with, what I was saying though is that, most of this is not even an issue of Abu Hanifa. It's an issue of that person. Because he gets angry because he follows him and I can't be wrong. So what do you think now? You're the Ma'asum from the Khata. No? So the same thing that you see with the people now. When they, nowadays you see people with the Sheikh Rabi', Hafidhahullah. Oh, he cannot be wrong. Oh, yes, he can. And that's fine. That's normal. And we accept that. That doesn't take him out of being a Salafi if he's wrong. But you blind following him and saying that he can't be wrong. And this is ghulu, akhi. This is complete transgression and extremism,
The test is on us. Are we following the Imam or are we following the Quran and Sunnah? The test, his mistake is a test for us to make sure that we follow Allah and His Messenger.
Yeah.
So
Because that's what the person's supposed to be calling you to follow in the first place. If the person is not calling you to follow Allah and His Messenger, not follow Allah, I mean obey Allah and follow His Messenger and obey His Messenger, what is He calling you to? You know, He's calling you to the obedience of Allah and His Messenger. He's not calling you to the obedience of an imam, of the imam that he follows. I don't, like I said, I'm not calling you to, you have to follow everything that Sheikh Yahya says. No, I don't even, how long have you been sitting with me?
Since it came.
But how many months now? Like 7 months now? We're like 6 months. Yeah, so 6 months. 6 months, right? How many times have you heard me say, Sheikh Yahya said about this, Sheikh Yahya said about this?
A few times.
Maybe 2 or 3 times in 6.5 months. 2 or 3 times, 4 times maybe. You can count them on one hand. But how many times have you heard from me say, Allah said this, or the Prophet said this?
A lot more.
That's it. That's every class, so that's it. Khalas, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And we're just sitting here, I'm not calling you to my shit. You know, I learned from him. Alhamdulillah, benefited from him. You know, and that's it. You know, and I'm gonna, give the benefit of what he taught me from the Quran and the Sunnah. I'm gonna give you that Quran and the Sunnah. I'm not, Sheikh said this, and Sheikh said that, Sheikh said this, and Sheikh said that. Nah, come on, man, this is foolishness. You know, that's not. He doesn't want us. He wouldn't be pleased if I was doing that. He won't be pleased with that. You know, so. All right. Is there a reward for looking at Kaaba? The reward? You ever heard about a reward for looking at the Kaaba? There's definitely a reward for doing tawaf around it.
Maybe they mean on YouTube, watching Kaaba on YouTube.
No, he just said looking at the Kaaba.
Yeah, I think that's what they mean.
Yeah, I mean, you do tawaf, so that's maybe.
When I went to Sujood, and the first rak'ah, my left thigh started cramping because I've been standing up for like 12 hours.
Said, do I have to if I make ghusl, then do I have to make wudu separately? No, you do the wudu with the ghusl. Go back and it's in Bulugh Maram. You can go back to Bulugh Maram and see the way that the Prophet ﷺ took the ghusl. The way he performed the ghusl. Alright, Sheikh, no, he's Sheikh. I shouldn't even ask your question. But, because this is one of our repeat offenders, in fact, right now. If one gets married, is it permissible for them to say to their spouse the dua one says to the one who got? No, you say the other people say that to you. The other people say it to you. Ustaz, sometimes when I am alone and I get angry, I say, La'natullahi alayhi kalbun nar. What are you getting angry at, dude? But not directed at anyone. Is this permissible? No. It's not. I mean, this is not from the character of the believer. Say the hadith. Go ahead.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس المؤمن بالطعان ولا اللعان ولا الفاحش البذيء. Yeah, we don't sit here and insult people, and we don't curse people, and we don't use explicit, despicable language. This is not the straight. This is not the characteristics or traits of a believer. All right. What is the best age to tell children about intimacy? When they're about to when they're getting closer to having to do it. Definitely. I mean, certain things you have to talk to your children about, probably by the age of like 14, 15, because
It's late.
no, I mean, not the intimacy thing, but like, especially boys, like, if you wake up and this happened to you, this is what you got to go do. It's time to go teach them how to, the whistle thing, and all this type of, like, those types of things. You have to talk to them about it early, because obviously those are going to be things that he needs to know, so he can stay in a state of tahara. But as far as being descriptive about the intimacy thing, as he gets closer to the time for marriage, because you don't want him thinking about that stuff. He's not about to get married. Right now, you want him to focus on learning his deen, using that childhood, that youth that he has, to really, really, really try to teach him as much as he can. Because the problem nowadays is that we lost our childhood. We lost our childhood because of public schools, man. I know I did because all I could think about my whole youth was what? Girls, actually. I wasn't thinking about nothing else, man. I was thinking about if I didn't have the girl, how to get the girl, and that's it. That's all we were thinking about. So and that messed us
A
up.
boyfriend, what it take to be your boyfriend, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the competition of public school.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. If you threw two things down in front of a person, us in that age, how to make a girl happy, 10 things to make a girl happy, or you put the Quran down. We'll probably put the Quran to the side and just read about, let me see how I can make her happy. Let me see what I gotta do, So, I mean, that's just the sickness of the society and how we were raised up. So you don't want your children thinking about that stuff. You want them thinking about the deen as they get closer to marriage. I mean, and as they get older, I mean, obviously they're gonna be, having those types of feelings. So that's when you talk to them, inshallah. You use your best judgment. You'll know, inshallah. I mean, obviously boys different than girls, so
Yeah.
I can't speak for the ladies. The ladies gonna have to speak on their own for that. I don't know, because you raised, how many children you have?
50.
50.
Girls are always faster than boys. Girls are always faster than boys.
Yeah. You gotta start talking to them.
I think one of the reasons because they're always around the women and they hear all
The women have
and all
no
the stuff with women. They don't have no filters. So the girls is always hearing all of the intimate things.
The men are like,
yeah,
boy, get out the room. We gotta talk about some grown folks' business, And then but the women, there's like,
come in.
you gotta go like, where the women are. You gotta put the parental advisory sticker on the door. Explicit lyrics must get, get your parents parental advisory.
Before them get together, it's
It's over, man. It's over. What is the best age? We asked that. He asked you if they got to San Diego safely, and you told nobody.
No.
You got another enemy here.
Okay, regarding the
Shahir.
the Shahir, I had thought I told him he got home safely. Well, when I was sending to the text, because I was doing multiple things at that time, I had thought I told him that's what.
We got a question about a hadith. Read, you could go ahead and read the other question.
And what does he mean, go at San Diego? I told no one about it.
We were talking about it.
We?
And maybe in the last live stream or something, because the brother was here.
Oh.
So maybe we said something about it. I don't know.
He said, Sir.
Just read the bottom comments while I look for this.
I thought you left yesterday.
I didn't.
He's been suffering from heat stroke.
Suffering from heat from all that outside demolition.
I would lie on Friday. Well, I never experienced a day hotter in California than that day.
What's that? On Friday?
On Friday, ooh, it was too hot.
Actually, it rained this morning.
I heard the thunder and stuff.
Man, I thought the kitchen exploded this morning, dude. Like, we were praying, and it happened in the second rak'ah.
Yeah, the
lightning. And I just started hurrying. No, but I didn't, because we can't see outside. We're in Salat. I just heard like the electricity, like, blinkered, like, blinked on and off, and then, like, it's like this. I was like, man, what, the kitchen just exploded? What just happened, man? It was loud, actually, the roof shook. So I was like, no, hurried up and tried to finish, and we ran to the, trying to see. It's like, okay, it's just lightning and thunder and all that. Is that normal for it to rain in this time of year, or that's a rarity, ain't it?
Very rare.
Yeah, because it's been like 0% chance of rain for the last 2 months, actually. I went home, it was still raining. I told the kids, I was like, yeah, come on, man. It's in the class. You can listen to it in the class. They were like, because what happened was 2 things happened in the class. One, it was raining, and then he walked outside and he saw 2 police cars out next to the Masjid. And I'm like, man, should I just end the class right now? Because now we got police out here, we got the rain going. I'm like, what's going on? This is a Fajr, right? I'm like, what's going on right now? But then, we got done, it was still raining, but the police cars, they were just doing a little chit chat before, because there was when we pulled up, we could hear a lot of talking over in the projects over there, like that, towards that direction. There's like a lot of like yippity yap, so we didn't know what was going on, so maybe, disturbance call or whatever, the police. It wasn't here though. I was like, first thing I said is an ambulance outside or is it just the police? Because I was like, if the ambulance is here, then Abdul Malik done dumped somebody on their head.
Maybe that was the sound.
If there's no ambulance, then it's just some stupid people out in the streets then. I'm trying to like
What's the question?
now the question is about
I'm asking Hamza.
It says, can you please clarify the difference between mawquf, marfu', nahi?
what does the nahi have to do with any of that?
I think we're talking about Sahih Hadith.
No, but the marfu' wal mawquf nahi. No. You have a marfu' wal mawquf wal maqtu'. But nahi has nothing to do with that. That's a whole other issue of usul al-fiqh. Like you jump from like mustalah hadith to usul al-fiqh. But anyways, I don't know. It's not this, because I can't concentrate it here. But as far as the hadith about the Yawm al-Ithnain, Yawm al-Khamis, I know it to be authentic. I don't know if this is there's the hadith about fasting on Mondays and Thursdays week. I know it to be authentic. Some say that only fasting on Monday is authentic. No, the Monday is a different narration. So students of knowledge will say that Imam al-Nawawi and Imam Abu Hanifa are deviant. No, they're not deviants.
They said what?
As laymen, should we stay away from them? No, I mean if these are people who are teaching the people. It ended.
Yeah.
No.
I got it back, yeah.
There's still 15 people on the live though.
No, it's okay.
These people are known compared to Abu Hanifa and Imam al-Nawawi.
Yeah, man. Actually, if you took, like, for example, let's look at, like, some of the people that made mistakes because of the Aqidat al-Ash'ariyah. They fell into these mistakes, right? All right, so you have, just to name a few, you have Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar, you have Imam Nawawi, and you have Imam Shawkani, and Ibn Hazm, he fell into some shadid, Marital type stuff, right? Take those four. Remove all of their books from the Islamic libraries, and what do you got? You just put a crater in the earth, akhi, that cannot be filled up ever. So huh?
You see who it is?
It's Job.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Tell him he's in the middle of a live stream. Ashura, Allah yahdik.
لا عادي wait Bashar.
I told him to answer the phone, Bashar.
He told me to answer. Can I put you on speaker? Yalla, okay, inshallah. Alright.
So the marfu' it goes back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mawquf, it goes back to the Sahabi, and maqtu' is what it goes back to the Tabi'i. It goes from the Tabi'i. But the nahi is a prohibition. This goes into usul al-fiqh. All right. And to Shahir, the ice cream. Oh, so yeah, I keep forgetting that Shahir is the ice cream man. He's the one that eats all of his family's ice cream.
Chicken fingers is back.
Chicken fingers is back.
قال chicken fingers. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله يحييكم يا chicken fingers. يا أصابع الدجاجة. Chickens don't have no fingers, man. All right, it says, what? Is it okay when one says or types Alhamdulillah, point their index finger up or send it? Why? No.
I hope you're all doing well and in the best of iman, inshallah. A bit late, but alhamdulillah.
As far as the Yawm al-Ashura, you fast the 9th and the 10th. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow's it's now, Laylatul Tasi'ah, right? It's tonight, right? So this is what they call a Tasu'a and al Ashura. So you pray, you keep saying pray. You fast the 9th and you fast the 10th. And then today, this year, there's no issue because what?
No issue.
Because sometimes the issue is that the 9th comes on a Friday.
Oh.
And then they say, well, we're going to fast Saturday, and then we'll fast the 11th. But the Prophet ﷺ said, you know, that if he lived to the next year, that he will fast the 9th with it. He didn't say the 11th. So we fast the 9th and the 10th in accordance to the Sunnah. So tomorrow you fast, and the 10th you fast. Now, if you don't fast the 9th, and you only fast, the fadl of getting the sins forgiven for the year is for what?
Ashura.
For the Ashura. So if you don't fast the 9th, does that mean that you still get that reward or no?
Yes.
Yes, you still get the reward for fasting Ashura, even if you don't fast the 9th with it. But again, it's going to be mukhalif to what? The Sunnah. You know?
Is it true that there's a hadith regarding the day of Ashura, Allah split the sea during the time of Musa?
That's what the Jews said. That was the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought and took Musa out of, you know, away from, you know, protected him and they escaped from Fir'aun.
So is this something we don't accept, but we don't reject, right? Or is this
I mean, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Not no haqqa Musa minhum." So, but you gotta understand that they were already fasting Ashura even before they were told that story by the Yahud, because Ashura was the first, that was the main day that was obligatory to fast before Ramadan became obligatory upon the people. So they were already fasting. You know, they were already fasting. You know. Any other questions? Chicken Fingers has a question.
If I remembered correctly, it was Ibn Kathir, he was upon that. Allah did split the sea on Ashura.
That's the day that, yeah, and Ja Musa wa qawmuhu min Fir'aun. That was when the day of that event, so. I'm asking of a Muslim who says, is it a good idea for one to seek knowledge at the Azhar University? No.
No.
Because I heard the president is an Ash'ari Sufi Ikhwani universalist. You just put all the evil of the dunya into one person. You know, he said, Ash'ari Sufi Ikhwani universalist. It's like, just add communists and khalas, let's just go ahead and knock it all out. You know, but no, it's not permissible. It's not permissible. It's your deen. It's your deen. I mean, even it's been known for way back in the days that the professors, they're not people of the Sunnah. Some of those professors, they go up and they teach you Sharia, Quran and Sunnah, and they're smoking in the teacher's room. You know, and this is known from way back in the 80s, the 70s, the 90s even. You know, this has always been the same. So
shaving the face, shaving.
Oh yeah, like you go find one Azhari that like lets his beard grow, that follows the Sunnah like that. You know, I'm pretty sure maybe one exists, but the thing is that's an exception to the rule of Azharis. So why would you want to study them? You study with the people of the Sunnah.
The people that make a khanzir halal for you to raise and slaughter and sell, as long as you don't sell it to the Muslim, is where you want to go and get your
Oh, they say that.
deen from.
Yeah, it's okay to sell khanzir as long as you're selling it to the
They also said about
farmers, slaughterers, and
all these fatwa that you see, these smoke shop fatwas, these grocery store fatwas, you know, about selling lottery tickets and khamr and all that. Where do you think they're getting it from? They're not getting it from Yemen. They're not going up to like students at Damascus giving them these fatwa. No, these are fatwa coming from Al-Azhar. You know, so Allah Muslim, or people that studied there. So whenever, you know, you see one of these questionable fatwas, then you're like, where did you get that from? And I'm telling you, I just want to start a war right now. Come on, man. We got enough problems as it is, man. I got a quick question, though. And, you know, فَحِمَهُ مَنْ فَحِمَهُ وَجَهِلَهُ مَنْ جَهِلَهُ. Okay. No, fahim, you know. Have you ever cut your ear before?
yes.
Like just cut it, like whatever, maybe with a needle, or maybe you walk by something and cut it.
No, when I'm shaving my hair, maybe.
Yeah, you cut your ear, yeah, you clip your ear, right?
Yeah.
And how long does it bleed?
2 wipes. 2 or 3
It depends on the cut, right? Because I know like one time I had like just a little cut like that, and it bled for like 30 minutes, man. I couldn't get the bleeding to stop. So you think if somebody really, really got cut in the ear that it would stop bleeding in 2 minutes?
No.
فَهِمَهُ مَنْ فَهِمَهُ جَاهِلَهُ مَنْ جَاهِلَهُ. Let's see how smart you are.
Yeah, what context?
Huh? After the live stream stops. Because the ear is all cartilage. So if you really, really do damage to your ear, no matter how much pressure you put on it, it will not just stop bleeding. It will keep running and running and running and running and running. It's not going to stop in like 2 minutes.
No.
And especially if your heart's beating and you're in a scary moment.
The ear only stops when the blood from that cut hardens in that spot.
Yeah.
Then it stops.
And that's if it's a small wound, it will stop quicker. If it's a bigger wound,
blood is running, then it's going to run until the blood hardens over that spot.
yeah, so just keep
And
that.
if you mess with it again,
It'll start bleeding. That happened to me. I finally got it to stop bleeding one time, and just, because just messing around with it to see if it stopped, and
you touch it.
it touched it, and it started all over
break
again.
that crust.
Yeah,
right
started,
again.
and I'm talking about tissue after tissue after tissue. So so let's see how smart he is. So Chicken Finger says, instead, how does one exhibit patience with one's parents and relatives despite their verbal harm, like calling a brother who's trying to follow the Sunnah Wahhabi and similar terms? Yeah, people calling you names and people saying this stuff to you, it causes you no harm. It shows, if they have to do this, if this is their way of trying to get a point to you, is like, if they really have something, let them bring the evidence. Let them argue with you with evidence, but they resort to name calling. This is what they did with the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because they couldn't argue with his evidence. When the Quran came down, they couldn't argue with that. So what do? He's a sahir, he's a kadhib, he's kadhab, and then they just start calling them names. So the name calling is the lowest form of any type of argument. Once a person resorts to name calling, he's already lost. The argument's over. The only thing is because fools, they listen to the name calling. Oh, he got you. But who cares what fools think? Anybody that truly understands knows once a person resorts to name calling, it's over. You lost. It's over. It's done. So, and why would you want to stoop down to the level of that person anyway? Just smile and keep going about you, especially your parents, So that's a whole nother issue.
But the niyyah of the person who's doing dawah is what has to be fixed. Because if you're doing dawah because you want the people to like you and to follow you, then these things are going to affect you. But if you're doing dawah for the people because you want them to be safe from the hellfire, then no amount of insult and no amount of whatever you're going to go through is going to affect you.
Exactly. Yeah. So check your intentions also. But I mean, with anything, with parents, relatives, and anybody that's older than you, if they get into that type of thing of, just like my father used to, my daddy used to say, when my father said, if an older person talks to you, what? Keep your mouth shut. That's it. So your parents and all the older people, you stay quiet. Let them say whatever they need to say, and it's not causing any harm to you except for what you allow it to cause. You let it fester in yourself. If you know these things aren't true about you, then who cares what they say? Wallahi, man, these stuff that you read on the internet and social media, come on, man. So, I mean, if it's true about you, if they're saying something true about you and you know it's true, fix it. You don't have to sit here and go in your room and cry about it. Go fix it. And if what they're saying is not true about you, then it shouldn't bother you in the first place. Because it's a lie. Khalas. It's simple. And people, they complicate their lives too much, man. This life is so simple, so the shaitan keeps them busy with so many stupid things, so they're not busy with the things that actually are of real benefit for them. All right, and instead, if there's a brother who believes that the two imams are deviants, proposes to a sister, then she should reject. It's not a red flag.
I'm gonna get a chair real quick. No, you stay. I'll get it. I need a chair. Oh, police are here.
Police are where?
They've been here. They've been there 20 minutes already. They just pulled the car over, they just left. They're done now.
So we got a lot of action going around the neighborhood these days.
But now
Huh?
he's leaving. Or it's oh wallahi. Like
So if the man says that these imams are deviants and he proposes to his sister, then the sister should not marry him. Since it's bigger than a red flag. That's like a red ship. I don't know, like a red country. I don't know, like a red flag. That's more than just a red flag. Yeah, that's
It's a UFO.
yeah, UFO. A red UFO. Yeah. All right, Ziyad says third place in is competition between Hamid Jamal and Jakarta. What competition we talking about? What's going on?
what's going on? I don't know, I think they're talking about soccer.
Says third place is competition between Hamid Jamal.
Oh, Hamid John, he's one of the people who comes on the live. I think they're doing like another poll. All right, brothers, let's make a poll.
All right, so what else? Do you raise your finger when sitting into tasneem or lower it? Just the whole time that you're doing the tashahhud, you keep your finger pointing. I heard you've been pointing your finger nowadays, huh?
Huh?
I heard you've been pointing, not.
No, I do both.
All right.
I do both.
All right, that's good. Mix it up a bit. Instead, how often should one give reminders and benefits on social media?
Tell the story of your arrest. I've never been arrested.
Who's been arrested?
They said, Hamza, can you tell the story of your arrest? I've never been arrested.
He said he needs to get some rest.
No, it says, can you tell the story of your
Maybe
arrest?
he's joking about the police being outside or something.
Oh.
Y'all gotta understand, when you write the comments and you joke in the comments, you gotta put some context to the jokes, because
Smiley face or something.
yeah, because we don't know if it's a joke or if you're serious, and then we end up blocking you, and you know, I've done that before, just block somebody just because, and then after I block it, because you can't unblock them, it's over, right? So it's like, oh man, subhanAllah, but it happens, and they're like, oh wait, he was just joking. It's too late, man.
I think you skipped the question on accident. It was about that stupid video game, Injustice, Gods Among Us.
So what are the best places to go study? Any place that they teach the Quran and the Sunnah according to the understanding of the Salaf al-Salih. Wherever you find that at, that's the best place to be at. That's the best place to study. That's the best place to live. That's the best place to breathe. That's the best place to be.
Best place to die.
And the best place to die. Well, amongst, you know, it's not the place, but it's the people, you know. The master, he said, what? My favorite commenter is Zahir, the master of the English language. I think, yeah, you're right. They're doing a poll about who's the best commenter now. I don't know.
Safe is the best commentator.
Shahir says, I'm not very smart, we know. All right. See, should I put a smile emoji or just joking or something? All right. Is it true that they don't allow anything from the Salaf to be taught there? Where is it? Azhar. If you go into Azhar and you start talking, you know, this is wrong and this is wrong, Quran said this, the Sunnah says this, man, you're gonna get kicked out faster than you.
You're gonna be arrested.
Huh?
You're gonna be arrested.
Yeah.
Just say Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah or Ibn al-Qayyim. You're done.
No, because they were trying to ban the books of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Azhar was playing a role in that. And they were. If I'm not checking, check it, that they took all the books out of all the Masjid in Egypt. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Check it.
And the whole of Egypt?
All of Egypt, all the Masjid. They weren't like banning Shaykh al-Islam's books, but just say, you know, Mana ad-Dawla, whatever, Kutub Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah fil Masajid fil Misr.
What is this? It says, I don't know if this is
All right, so
it says Egypt to remove books by Shaykh ibn Taymiyyah and other prominent Salafi. So, Wallahu a'lam if this website is reliable.
no, it was on the news. That was on the news in the past. It says some of the reciters sometimes extend the ghunna a lot, or maybe make a med much longer than it should be. Just listen, just al-Husri. You'll never have these complaints with al-Husri. The reciters.
Oh, yeah.
When some of them, they extend too long, and al-Husri. There you go, khalas. You No complaints.
Al-Minshawi.
Huh?
Al-Minshawi.
Al-Husari is better.
I like it.
Minshawi is number 2. Alright, is it halal to make a dua after every prayer without raising the hands, or is it still better? Make dua in your sujood. That's where the Prophet ﷺ told you to make dua in the sujood. Hamza, can you, okay, that's the story of your arrest. Yeah, can you tell us? Why'd you get arrested?
I've never been arrested. I had even a paper when I applied to Medina University that you need a clear criminal record check.
So they are doing this. They're asking who are the top 3 commenters.
Safe is number 1.
Safe, my son.
Yes.
He never comments.
He did. That one on Friday. On Friday night, he commented. And I told him, I said, you'll be a very good news reporter for Saudi.
What did he say?
I forgot what he was just commenting about like the weather and whatnot. No, he was commenting about what was going on in the car outside. And he gave like a very good description.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay, so I need to go back and check it. What is this, man? If you know someone who engages in riba, like buying a house on riba interest over a period of 30 years, how does he make tawbah and get out of this mess? He's gonna have to call that a loss. He shouldn't have gone into that contract in the first place. He has to get out of that contract and stop doing it. It's not permissible for him to continue paying that. And he's gonna have to call that a loss. That's it. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to do. It's like, well, you did it. You put yourself in that position. Because especially if he knew that it was haram from the beginning. It's one thing, okay, a person who he comes into Islam and he's got this contract with, and he's already bought his house or paid or he's already collected all this riba and all this interest before he entered into Islam. And now he knows that it's impermissible. فَلَهُ مَا سَلَفَ.
Even a car.
Huh?
Even if he gets
But as long as it's done. But once he knows that it's, فَلَهُ مَا سَلَفَ. Alright, so whatever went before is for him. But from that time that he knows that it's impermissible, it's not permissible for him to pay $1, 1 cent, or anything, or accept any interest.
On a 30-year mortgage here, the first 7 years is all interest anyway. So you don't even pay into the principal of your mortgage until all the interest is paid. So if you're 7, 8, 9, 10 years into it, you've already paid all the interest.
Yeah. So
They take that first. Because if they foreclose on the house, they're not losing the interest. They take the interest first. So when they foreclose it, they only foreclose it for the principal.
okay. I don't know all this stuff. Ustad is wearing a kufi from the Sunnah. Covering your head is from the Sunnah. And Ibn Jawzi, he was very, very harsh on people that did not cover their head, even to the point of not taking knowledge from a person who does not cover his head with some type of Islamic headdress, whether it's a imama, whether it's a kufi, or whatever distinguishes you as a Muslim. But Ibn Jawzi was really, really harsh on that issue, And you notice this with a lot of the du'ats, that when they come from overseas and they just studied, they always got their head covered, right? When they get in America, they start becoming mutasahil, what happens? They start taking it off, brushing their hair and all these little nice little hairstyles. No, man. Keep your head. I mean, this is the Prophet, the Prophet ﷺ used to keep his head covered up to the point that they actually mentioned in the hadith one day that he didn't, that he went out to a janazah and his head was not covered. So, I mean, just imagine that. He kept his head covered so much to the point that but this obviously is talking about covering your head with Islamic, not wearing baseball caps and things, things that because you get some dua nowadays. I mean, dude, you up there talking about Islam and with a baseball cap.
Would it be mustahab to wear like the Yemeni imama thing? So
I mean, this distinguishes you as a Muslim. Yeah. And this has always been the tariq of the Salaf. This is how they,
I remember when I first started wearing my thobe, I had people, they said, you look like, they were, obviously was making fun of me, but they were saying, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. They were saying, like they said I look like the head leader. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is a Jew.
He doesn't deserve it.
Jewish intelligence. That's the biggest insult that he could insult you with anyways, man.
Jew misintelligence.
Misintelligence. Lack of intelligence, yeah. That reminds me like what they did to me in Yemen. The first time that I ever got questioned in Yemen, because that was when the war was going on. I was going to go get the passports for my sons. So he said, well, I can't give you the passports. He said, you got to go in that room first. I'm like, oh, here we go. So it was like one guy, he was like military. You could tell he had the tattoos on his calves. So I was like, all right, so he's a military dude. And the other guy was like some other type of intelligence service, State Department or like Homeland Security, whatever. So they're telling me, like, did you study in Sada? I said, no, I didn't study in Sada, right? I wasn't lying to him. He's like, you better tell me the truth because we know everything. And I was like, let me just tell him because I said, I studied in Damaj at the time Sheikh Mubah was alive. And after he died, I left. I said, Damaj, because he said, did you study in Sada? I never studied in Sada. I wasn't lying. I studied in Damaj. Sada is a city, Damaj is a whole other village, right? So he said, just, all right, don't you ever lie to me again. And I was like, whatever. I was just like, whatever, right? I just let him have his little fun in the sun, right? Because he's dumb anyways, because I told him, I said, after the sheikh died, I left, right? Yeah, years after the sheikh died, I left, But, whatever, let him. So he tells me, he said, we know everything that's going on in Yemen. We know about the protests, and we know that there's a revolution, and we know what streets are blocked right now, and we know everything. So listen here, if there's anything that you could tell us so we can understand the situation better. I was like, dude, didn't you just say that you knew everything? You see how stupid these people are? It's like, dude, go back to school, man, and learn the trick of your trade or something, man. That was the dumbest question. Like, they just brought this guy from kindergarten to say, hey, let's go question.
What do you call that? They do that at the police department.
Yeah.
You might know what they call at the police department. Let's just say they suspect someone of a murder or a robbery or whatnot. They say, well, you did it. You might as well just say it. What do you call that?
Interrogation.
No, obviously it's interrogation, but that tactic. They say, we know. You might as well just say it now. We already know you did it, even though they don't know.
Interrogation tactics.
That interrogation tactic.
Trying to scare you.
Trying to scare you.
It's not intimidation.
Dude, if they knew anything.
Intimidation is when they threaten you with the punishment to make you say that you did it.
Yeah.
That's intimidation. But interrogation is when what you said. They bring you in and say, we know you did, you might as well tell us. That's interrogation. And intimidation is saying
there's one rule that you need to know in your life, right? If they really know, they're not going to question you. The fact that they took you in to question you like that, it means that they don't know, so keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. But people just don't learn that. They go, oh my God, they do know. Oh, no, they don't know. Just like this dude did, I mean, literally, wallahi, I'm not even exaggerating. He was telling me, we know everything, what streets are blocked off, everything. And he said, so, listen, Mr. Sutton, if you could just please give us some information so we can know the situation better. I was like, but you know everything. You know everything. I got to go home. And now you worry me because I don't know what streets are blocked off. Can you tell me what streets are blocked off when I go home? And I'm telling him, he's like, get out of here. Go get your passports and leave, Because I just they're like, seriously, like, they must have brought these dudes from kindergarten, man. Like, you failed out of like interrogation school, didn't you, man? They got some stupid, but yeah, man, it's like lack of intelligence.
What's the ruling of illegally immigrating to a Muslim country? Like you enter the land just to live there, to run away from the capital country without the permission of
man, listen. They asked Sheikh Mubah rahimahullah. They said, Sheikh, Allah yarham Sheikh, Allah yarham Sheikh, Allah yarham Sheikh. They said, oh Sheikh, what's the ruling on going to Saudi Arabia and doing Hajj without a permit and without a visa? He said, ya sunnah. Sunnah, it's a sunnah. Because back in the days of the Prophet, they didn't require that you had all that stuff. He said, this is the sunnah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go live in a Akhi, I stayed in Saudi Arabia for 6 years illegally, and I don't have any regret. You know, it's better than coming back to this place, but eventually we had to come back. But being in a Muslim country, Akhi, there's no. If I have to stay, I stayed in in Yemen. I was only legal in Yemen. Let me see. 2008. Late 2008, not even the beginning. So 2008 to 2013. And I was in Yemen from 2000 to 2015. So from 2008 to 2013, those are the only years that I was legal in Yemen. Like I had an actual residence visa, and I got married, and then I went back to being illegal again. You know, so, I mean, how many years is that? So that's 10 years I was illegal, 5 years I was legal. So who cares, Ashi? Who cares?
You see the video of Sheikh Mufrad? It's an audio, not a video. I think when he was studying in Medina for like 4 years, they were trying to teach him English. And then he was going off on them. He said, like, Na'allam kitabillah wa sunnati rasulillah, so on and so forth. He's like saying, they were trying to teach me Inglesi. And the only thing, حفظته,
donkey.
حمار.
Yeah,
he said, بمعنى donkey.
Donkey. He said donkey. Yeah, I remember that. So that's the only thing. The only English word that he remembers is donkey. Don't worry, you get to use that a lot. That's a good word to know in English if you had to know one English word. Shahir says that Hamza don't search on Sheikh Mubaz's website.
You're still on that?
Ustad, what is the ruling on listening to horror podcasts where people talk about their experiences with jinn, but some might share stories of their past sins such as witchcraft and other acts of kufr? If it's gonna scare you, and you stay away from it. But I mean, if you're listening to it for the purpose of knowing what to avoid and knowing, because you gotta understand, like number one, jinn lie. Jinn lie. So when you're getting the information from the jinn, you don't know what is true and what is not. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking from like secondhand information. They lie a lot. So you can't just sit there and change the story every 2 seconds, you know. So you can't really 100% rely on that. You know, if you want protection, you focus on keeping up with your adhkar, stay in the masjid, stay praying in the masjid, reading the Quran, and doing the things that you're supposed to do as a Muslim. And, you know, because they're waiting for that time of ghafla, you know, that absent-mindedness, that heedlessness. And once they see it, they pounce, you know. So that's what you gotta, you gotta seek Allah's protection. That's the main thing. He says, Safe, please say something. Safe is not here. Only Majid is here today.
I didn't even see Majid when I was downstairs.
Where is he? He's in the room, probably asleep, ain't he?
No, he's not asleep.
Is something, someone thinking another is righteous, something that can be subjective? It is subjective. You think the person's righteous based on what's the criteria. You're only doing hukm ala dhahir anyways. You don't know what's going on in that person's heart, so only Allah knows. You know, we look on to what? I mean, so we say that the person appears righteous to us, then we're doing what appears to us. We don't know what's going on in that person's heart. So it's very subjective. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say that person is righteous. What?
Far.
What?
It's almost 10:25.
All right, so let's see. So Sister Diane said, the ongoing, never-ending difference of who is better. I prefer Minshawi, but most Egyptians will choose Hosuri. Because Hosuri, they have, there's been the people that, have followed his audios and timed every single, everything was perfect. So it's just, you can't, come on, man. Now, as far as okay, who has a more beautiful voice, like Minshawi or Hosuri? But see, Hosuri's a man. Hosuri has a man's voice. He doesn't do that nasal stuff. He doesn't sing. He doesn't, he just recites the Quran like a man. So for a man, I love Hosuri. And I can understand with women saying, oh, I prefer Minshawi, or I prefer these Saudi reciters that basically they're like singers, But they're they're they sing, But like Husri recites the Quran like a man should recite the Quran. And that should always, like for the men, that should be the go-to. I mean, alhamdulillah, there's a lot of different, Al-Ghamidi. I used to listen to Al-Ghamidi. What's the other, Muhammad Ayyub. Also very, very beautiful. Muhammad Ayyub used to come on the radio when I was in the match. They would come on the radio every Jumu'ah. They would play Muhammad Ayyub from Sardiya. So I used to love Muhammad Ayyub just for that. You know, because you go throughout the rooms and get ready for Jumu'ah and you can hear just Muhammad Ayyub, people playing it on the radio. So
Adi Jabir.
I don't know. Who's that?
He used to be one of the imams of the Kaaba. He had a beautiful voice. Yeah, he had a man's voice too. So.
Yeah, I mean, anybody like that.
But he's like
and then the other people say like Abdul Basit, but Abdul Basit used to impersonate Husri. Go with Husri, don't go with the impersonator. You don't want the counterfeit, you want the real thing, right? So, Allahumma Islam.
I still prefer the Barry White. Hudayfi.
Hudayfi.
Love that deep voice, man.
Yeah, because you studied in Medina, right? So he was was he the imam back then or no?
I'm biased, yeah.
Yeah.
You said, I remember you told me, you said you prayed behind Bin Baz and Al-Albani, right?
They were.
He said, please tell us a jinn story. I ain't talking about. I did things like that. I had to recite on people because I had to, not because I wanted to. And I'll never talk about that stuff ever again. Inshallah. Wa ilahana subhanaka wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
I have a question.
Okay.
So,
Let's stop this first.
Stop that one.
Mm-hmm.